Relationships are journeys, not destinations. From the thrill of first attraction to the depth of mature love, the path of two people intertwining is marked by 7 recognizable stages. Understanding these phases helps us navigate confusion, manage expectations, and honor growth, both as individuals and as a couple. Rather than a rigid script, these stages act as a map. The landmarks may shift, but the terrain is familiar. Each phase brings its own beauty, challenges, and opportunities for connection. When you embrace the journey instead of resisting it, you find that even the hardest parts can deepen your trust, empathy, and shared purpose. Let's explore the 7 stages of a relationship: the emotional landscape, the tests, and the gifts, so you can enter each with awareness, courage, and intentionality. 1. The spark, attraction, and infatuation. At the beginning, there's an electric pull. Everything about the person seems magnetic. The way they move, the sound of their voice, the look in their eyes. This first stage is driven by intense chemistry and idealization. Suddenly, you're thinking about them during meetings, smiling for no reason, and feeling alive in ways you didn't expect. That early spark comes from a cocktail of hormones: dopamine, oxytocin, adrenaline, all flooding your system and coloring your perception. You see your partner through rose-colored lenses.
Flaws fade, differences feel adorable, and time together feels effortless. This stage fuels excitement and hope.
It's where fantasies about a shared future begin to form. You imagine compatibility, alignment of values, and a lifelong fit. That early intensity is intoxicating, but transient. It can feel like you're separate from reality because you're both experiencing heightened emotion. The danger lies in clinging to the illusion. When reality surfaces, mundane routines, differences, conflict, the magic can feel like it's been lost, but it hasn't vanished. It's simply evolving. Infatuation sets the foundation of attraction, but building a real connection requires stepping beyond the high. 2. Getting to know each other, curiosity and adaptation. As the haze of infatuation clears, curiosity sets in. You begin peeling back the layers to see the person beneath the facade. Conversations deepen. Childhood stories, family dynamics, past heartbreaks, core values. You learn how they think, what they feel, and how they process life. This stage builds emotional intimacy and sexual understanding. You discover each other's love languages, attachment styles, and unmet needs. Simultaneously, adaptation takes place. You learn how to blend routines, weekend habits, friend circles, schedules. This stage demands flexibility and patience. You realize that differences are real, not just quirks. Disagreements begin to emerge. Preferences about time alone, money, household roles, social life. These early conflicts start shaping your way of negotiating a shared life. Each negotiation reveals something deeper about your partner and yourself. This phase builds foundation, but also cracks. The key is curiosity over judgment. Rather than dismissing differences, you ask, why does this matter to them? Where did that behavior come from? Differences become opportunities to learn instead of reasons to leave. And emotional intimacy deepens when you share your vulnerabilities and boundaries, exposing yourself without fear. When both partners show up openly, this stage can propel a relationship into real intimacy. 3. Intensifying bond, investment, and security. Once deeper knowledge and routines settle, you enter a phase of increasing commitment. Trust forms more solidly. You begin investing, emotionally, mentally, and often physically. Weekend plans become our plans. You start referring to us instead of they or he, she. Financial interdependence may begin, sharing expenses or planning future budgeting. Social circles merge. Milestones like birthdays, holidays, or vacations become shared rituals. This stage fosters a feeling of security. You no longer wonder if someone will show up. They consistently do. This intensification often includes declaring exclusivity or planning a future together. Conversations shift. Where do we live? Do we want children? What are our mutual goals? That shared vision builds cohesion. Even when goals aren't fully aligned, clarifying them prevents drift. Anxiety levels often decrease as long-term prospects become more tangible. You feel grounded in each other's presence. Emotionally, this is comforting. You know you belong to someone who chooses you daily. However, intensity also invites greater shadow. Resentment, wounded triggers, unmet expectations. At this point, personal insecurities or old attachments may emerge. Without communication, disappointments can accumulate. It's essential to continue self-reflection and speak about unmet needs before small irritations grow. When both partners stay curious and honest through this intensifying stage, bond deepens and trust becomes interwoven into daily life. 4. Conflict and crisis, growth through friction. Every relationship hits a wall. It doesn't mean something is wrong, it means you're human. As familiarity deepens and routine sets in, friction arises. Small annoyances become triggers, leaving soggy towels, silently judging spending, competing schedules. When you allow those irritations to build without addressing them, they erupt into full-blown crises. Arguments over infidelity fears, broken promises, jealousy, or mismatched expectations. This stage tests resilience. It reveals whether you can handle conflict without dismantling the relationship. It demands raw honesty and emotional boundary work. You may cry, yell, or storm out, but you also start discovering the deeper roots of your pain. Often what triggers comes from childhood wounds, attachment pain, or self-worth issues. Conflict acts like a mirror, reflecting unmet needs within ourselves. The work here lies in owning your projected narratives, not blaming the partner entirely. Couples who manage this phase well learn de-escalation, active listening, and compassionate confrontation. They practice taking breaks, validating each other's emotions, and returning to the issue with curiosity instead of blame. Overcoming crises doesn't mean pain goes away. It means you emerge with more trust, clarity, and emotional depth. Surviving conflict together cements a relationship in a way infatuation never can. 5. Stabilization, acceptance, and integration. After navigating a major conflict, you enter a phase of stabilization. The relationship shifts from reactive to rhythm. You've worked through at least one major disagreement or crisis and come out more unified. Patterns become predictable, but not boring. Acceptance deepens. You start to hold space for each other's imperfections, quirks, and triggers without feeling threatened. This phase reflects integration. You've learned how each of you responds to stress, sadness, and anger. You anticipate needed support. Together, you've developed rituals. Morning check-ins, weekly dates, care when one is sick. Those small patterns build emotional security and reliability. You can ask for help without guilt, apologize without defensiveness, and discuss challenges with care rather than avoidance. When partners accept each other as full humans, not idealized versions, love deepens. You don't just love who they are magically, you love who they sometimes fall short of being. And that maturity of acceptance transforms connection into a safe harbor. Attachment feels secure because the relationship has weathered storms and settled into mutual respect. That stability is not dull, it's tranquil. It allows personal and relational growth to continue more steadily. 6. Co-creating life, partnership, and purpose. With stability comes the capacity to create together. This phase is about collaboration, a shared life project. Whether that's raising a family, running a business, traveling, or supporting causes, you act as a team. Decision-making becomes mutual. You dream together, solve together, and celebrate growth together. This phase tests whether you can integrate two lives without losing oneself. You maintain individual interests, yet remain deeply invested in joint goals. Communication is intentional. You set shared values, financial planning, time with extended families, health, spirituality, or legacy. You plan for both short-term joys and long-term dreams. Living becomes about shared partnership, not just shared space. When healthy, this stage feels empowering. It brings fulfillment that neither partner could achieve alone. Purpose emerges in synergy, when you align energies and energies amplify results. Challenges arise, competing responsibilities, parenting strains, or life changes, but you face them side by side. Your union becomes both anchor and sail, holding secure roots while pushing toward new horizons. 7. Lasting love and renewal, deep intimacy and transformation. After years of growth, conflict, and co-creation, long-term relationships often settle into a phase of deep intimacy and renewal. This is love stripped of illusion, refined by history. You've seen each other at your best and worst. You know each other's rhythms, insecurities, dreams, yet you still choose one another, day in and day out. In this stage, love transcends need or urgency. It becomes a choice rooted in gratitude. Physical intimacy may slow, but become richer in tenderness. Emotional vulnerability becomes second nature. Even silence between you holds comfort. You aren't merely two individuals. You are a living ecosystem of shared memories, lessons, rituals, and mutual trust. Renewal comes through unexpected transitions, kids growing up, career shifts, health changes, empty nest phases. You reinvent the relationship again, not out of crisis, but out of curiosity and desire to evolve. You revive date nights, shared projects, or rediscovered passions. You lean on each other more lightly, knowing that love is both keeper and catalyst. You let each other grow even when growth reshapes your bond. That kind of mature intimacy is rare and deeply rewarding. It's a love that becomes part of who you are, sustained by daily practice, mindful presence, and unwavering choice. In conclusion, these 7 stages are not rigid checkpoints, but evolving phases. Some couples cycle back through stages, like returning to conflict after a life change. Others move slowly or skip phases temporarily. The point is not calendar time, it's how consciously you travel the journey. Together, you learn to embrace intensity, curiosity, challenge, calm, shared vision, and renewal. Every relationship faces tests, and with awareness, each test can bring connection. The spark evolves into real intimacy. Getting to know each other evolves into trust. Conflict leads to resilience. Stability paves the way for partnership. And partnership matures into lasting love. Keep heart open through every phase. Speak truth kindly.
Laugh, cry, adapt, and hold space for each other's humanity.
Your love story may not look perfect, but it can be deeply meaningful, continuously evolving, and full of shared purpose. That is the beauty of a relationship built not on perfection, but on presence, growth, and reciprocal vulnerability. May this understanding guide couples toward connection that heals, energizes, and transforms.